Please be seated. Today we celebrate the Feast of All Saints. It's part of 3 days of different celebrations, and some of them you may have already remembered. We first have Halloween, which is the Eve of All Hallows, or the Eve of All Saints. And then on Halloween, people all dress up in costumes and go door to door and ask for candy. And some of our young people are brave enough to wear their costumes today. I see two trends in costumes in Halloween. One is what we see more today, the kind of aspirational kind of costumes, the people we want to be like. And that, I think, really feeds into the idea of All Saints' Day. Remember the saints, the people who've gone before, who've done glorious things, and we want to be like them, and that's a good thing. The other thing I think we do on a Halloween is it seems like the opposite, all the sort of creepy and weird and evil things, right? I think that shows that we have no fear of death. We have power over it. We laugh at it. We make fun of it. Otherwise, we would not have gigantic purple inflatable spiders on our front lawn. We don't actually worship those or anything. We just think it's silly, and we're going to laugh at it and then eat a candy bar. That's how we think about it, which is also a good lesson for us to think about as we consider our relationship to God and the world and each other. Death no longer has power over us. We believe this as Christians. So today, though, is All Saints. We're celebrating it today because it's the primary feast, and this is the day that we actually remember all the saints that we love and know, but it's really also for all the saints whose days we've forgotten, the saints who have been forgotten to history and time, the people who were great witnesses to the faith before us, who have since been lost to our memory. We celebrate them today as well. And the real day today is actually the commemoration of all faithful departed, sometimes called All Souls Day. Other parts of the world, they call it the Day of the Dead. Yes, again, that sounds a little creepy, but actually it's not. It's about remembering our family and friends who've gone before, and we celebrate them. In some places of the world, they have picnics in the graveyard, and they commune with those they love and those they miss, and remember that they're still with us. All good stuff, right? I was thinking about the costumes that people wear, and difficulty in trying to figure out how to weave that in. But then I realized that we're actually wearing costumes today all the time. Right? This is a costume, by the way, folks. I don't wear this every day. I don't go home and put on the chasuble, keep warm. No, it says something about who we are and what we believe about ourselves. The same is true of our choir and our acolytes, all dressed up in odd clothing. The predominant color, you may have noticed, is white. And why is that? That's like our color today. The hangings and this thing is predominantly white. Well, it's the color of Easter. It's the color of resurrection. It's the color of life. We wear it today not in defiance of death and the evil spirits of Halloween, but to remind ourselves who we truly are, who we really are. So on All Saints' Day, the remembrance of all souls, we remember what's most true, and that life does not end, and that our life is not in danger because we are connected with God. We are children of God. And that rather long and complicated reading from Ephesians reminds us of our inheritance. Who do we belong to and why? We have been adopted by God as children of God. And there are days when we don't feel like it. It's still true, and it's always true, and it will always be true. What Paul is trying to encourage us is to live into that inheritance, not to forget it, and not to let the troubles of our days, the worries of life, to get in the way of the truth that we will always belong to God. I think this may be a way of understanding or using the Beatitudes from Luke as he begins his Sermon on the Plain. He's got the interesting Beatitudes which has the blessings and the woes. Blessed are you when you are poor, for yours is the kingdom of God, and blessed are you when hungry, you'll be filled. And then the woes. Woe to you who are rich, for you've received your consolation. That's it, get the rich. You want them to suffer. Woe to you who are full now, for you will be hungry. Wait a minute. Woe to you who laugh now, for you will weep. and woe to you when people think well of you, because that's what they did to the false prophets. So it's a lovely part of Jesus' sermon, nice sort of poetic balance and everything, but if we're honest, don't we, in fact, most of our time and our energy is spent trying to live into those things that Jesus calls woes? I really don't think anybody here is actively trying to be poor. None of us are actively trying to be hungry unless you're dieting. That's a kind of, not really being hungry though. And we want to laugh, we don't want to weep. We want people to think well of us. I don't think, there's a few oddballs, and some of you know who you are, who actually don't care if people think you're weird. But most of us want people to like us. We want to do the right thing. We want people to be agreeable with us. All of these are normal, very human. I think what Jesus is setting up for us is to think about two realities, and where are we living? Are we living in the kind of structures and constructs of the world around us, which tell us that our value depends on what we produce and what we accumulate and how safe we can make ourselves? That's really fundamentally based in an ideology or in a self-understanding of fear. That if I don't have enough money in the bank, I'm going to be in trouble. If I don't take care of myself and the people around me, then no one else will. So I better make friends. I better have a full pantry and lots of money in the bank, just in case. That's predominantly based in fear that no one else is going to care for me. The blessing, the blessed. We understand it kind of theologically. We've sort of maybe struggled with it spiritually, but it's hard. I don't want to be poor. Is Jesus telling me to not have anything? Maybe Jesus is telling me I shouldn't trust in those things. I should hold them lightly, be willing to let go of them, share them with someone who needs them more than me. The same with hunger. Maybe it's not just about food. Maybe it's about the obsession that I have to fill myself with things that please me. It's not just food, but maybe content. What do I read? What do I look at on a screen? What do I spend my days doing so that I feel full? That's really a path to emptiness. What if I instead consider what I'm taking into myself and how it really feeds me? Maybe I need a lot less. And maybe instead of filling myself, I need to think in terms of letting go and sharing with others. And the idea of weeping, we don't want to feel sad. Actually, that's a feeling. It's a real one. And there's lots of tragedy in the world around us. Are we insulating ourselves from that because we don't like it? Or are we willing to sit with those who weep, those who have suffered great loss, and weep with them, to feel the depths of our loss and our feelings so that we can be most fully human and we can be compassionate with those who are in need? And finally, do we really need everyone to like us? Or do we need to live the way Jesus calls us, no matter how people feel about us? I think Jesus is inviting us into a way of being where we are more truly ourselves, where we grasp, when we hold on to that idea that we are inheritors of the glorious company of the saints in light, that we are children of God, and that is never going to change. Since it's true, how shall we live into it? Shall we live into it by grasping and accumulating and drawing our things in and trying to be safe and comfortable? Or are we going to be truly ourselves if we let go of things and leave ourselves open to what God would give us, to what God would show us? Are we willing to take risks to share the good news of God's love? These things are not easy. They are very difficult. We have to continue to tell ourselves to be open to what God offers us and to take those steps. It's always hard. So are all the good things in our life, right? If you want to have a good marriage, you have to actually listen to your partner. If you want to raise your children, you actually have to make sacrifices, not just so that other people think you're a good parent, but so that they are actually growing the way that they need to. All these things are difficult, yet all of them are worth doing. And the same is true of us being saints. Sometimes it feels like all we're doing is putting on a costume. We don't really feel like we're it. It's true. But like many things, the way to move forward is to trust, to take the next step, even if you don't feel like it, even if you don't feel like it's working. Because that is how God works in us. That is how God forms our heart and transforms us. And so that someday, I don't know when that is, God continues to work in us. We find ourselves to be a different person than we were in the past. That we are more Christ-like and less selfish. That we are more generous and less afraid. It doesn't happen with one act. It happens with a change in attitude. That God has called us into something that's fullness, but not easy. Something that's abundant, but not necessarily an accumulation of wealth. Something that is not about people liking us, but about us following God and trying to figure out how we love our neighbor. None of this is easy, yet God calls us, and the Spirit fills us, and God guides us with each step, and we do what we can in each day. And today we put on our costume, and we call ourselves saints, and that's where we start. Amen.